how web works and created a server. Do you remember everybody? Yes? Today's, today's class would be on how node routing would work, and we need to render JSON data through HTML. I don't know how fast you can pick up on it. If you spend some time on it, why are we learning JSON and how the API is coming into the picture, why I'm stressing on the JSON, that all you would learn today. All right? You might have done few projects already on it. You know, you have created the API. API will, what does the API returns you? JSON. You need to know how to work with an JSON. I'm not taking the basic of the JSON again, just rendering the HTML part with an JSON. JSON would be rendered using the HTML. In the coming classes, that same JSON you will be rendering using React. In the next class, upcoming next 2 to 3 sessions, you will be discussing on Mongo. How do you do querying in the Mongos? How do you connect your Express to the Mongo, and how do you create an APIs on it? And going further, the same exercise will be eventually one after the other, one step by step, you will be exploring that one. I mean to say, you will be adding more and more functionalities to the same API. Once the API is created, if you are confident on it, then we would start the React. Am I making sense, everybody? Let us take it slow today. Today we'll be talking on the routing and how do you send HTML file as in response. How do you send headers as along with the responses, and how do you read the JSON and render that onto the HTML and send it through Node.js. All right, let's do that. Give us a minute. I'm ready with my code. You see, I'm not typing today. If needed, I'll do that for you. As I said before, we'll be doing 2 important exercises today. Let me show you the output, how does it looks first, so that you will have some intuition how to do that. And meanwhile, you can look into that also. I mean to say, how can we do this? What are the expectations on it? Meanwhile, if you know already, you can think on it. All right. So node, my server is started. I'm going to my server, and it's 8000 running port. I hope you can see that here. This is what I have created. There is a navbar which is coming again. Everything is coming from HTML place. You know, I said we will be talking on the routing. With the routing, you might have seen the URL patterns here. You might be typing /home, /about, /contact like that. No, this is proper, the front end part here. You see, I'll be sharing the code with you, the front end part. Don't worry about that. Don't worry, I'm not really worried about the colors and what you are trying to use there. You are in the home page. This is my home. If I click on the home again, I'm still in the home page. If I click on the products, 404 error, about, I'm in about page, contact page. 404 error, deliberately I made this one where I can talk about my header parts on it. All right. Now, in the next exercise, you will be seeing like, if I click on the products, it has to read the JSON file and fetch the content from it, render that over here. All right, everybody. So, shall we do that now? And by the way, this is purely Node.js, not the Express, please. So, let's look into that now. Let me create a new file for you. I'll be doing copy paste work. Here, let me create a new folder here. In class, create a file called index.js, where the first step to be done to create a server. How do you create a server? Or what all the requirements, prerequisites to create a server? What module you need? Is it an inbuilt module? Yes, right? Require As I said, let me do copy paste. So it is returning an object to me. That object I am trying to store onto the HTTP local variable. All right. Now let's create a server. HTTP dot create server. What does it take, please? How do you create the server? Recall your last class. How do you create the server? What parameters that create server will take? Pardon? Request response and? All right. Does it take any callback function? Does it take any callback function, please? I don't want to type. We are creating the server. It takes a callback function. That callback function takes two arguments in it, request and the response. All right. So let me close this part. Now, just how do I listen on this? What do I do now? Pardon? Server.listen. Listen on what does it takes? Optional parameters. One is mandatory among it. What is that? Port number. It's up to you what is the port number you are trying to use. All right. Let me stop it here. And I would like to send a message to the admin, whoever he is trying to create, the backend person, a server is started or not. How do I do that? How do I do that whenever the server is started? Recall the last class, please. Make it fast. How do I send the message? Takes a second parameter over here, which is a callback function. Just log something, console.log, server is up, our server is running. Just to keep it simple, that is all what I needed. All right. Now, I would like to send a response, response.send or end one welcome. All right. That is all, please. This is a basic server creation. Let's run this. Let me close the previous one. All right, here. I have one more folder called in class, cd in class. All right, node index.js. Server is running. Go over here. Server is running on 4000. Welcome, please. Now, if you notice here, we have done one basic routing part over here. Not essentially we can say that one. This isn't just sending the response here. Now, whenever I pass something here like /home, still it is coming with an welcome. Now, I don't know whether you can see my URL bar, please. See my address bar. I'm typing /contact. Still it is showing the welcome. Though I haven't handled those routing parts about. Everything is saying the same welcome page. I don't want this one. I want the appropriate messages to become. So to do that, we call this as an URL patterns. These URL patterns basically are the 4 different types, please. Let me write it somewhere. URL patterns. URL patterns. We have basically the 4 types of URL patterns. First one is something like file-based URL, where you will be requesting for the file directly. Example, like localhost colon some 4000 slash some index.html directly. All right, it's not in DB, index.html. All right. Now, second type is resource based. Resource based URL, very important for interviews, please. How do you handle the URL patterns and what are they? Resource based URL, the base which we have shown now, localhost colon 4000 slash some home or some slash about, all of these are the resource based URL. All right. The third type is route parameters. Route parameters. Example, you already have the local host, the server where it is up, 4000 slash some, let me take as an library. It's an resource. Now, I'm trying to directly move to the route called slash first book in my library, or else you may have one more here, book slash first book in the library. All right. This is route parameter. You see, this is till here it's a resource based. There I'm passing some parameters over here. Under that resource, go to the another in-depth level. I mean to say hierarchy of it. Book, under the books, I wanted to get the first book in it. If I wanted to get an 100th book, I will be passing again 100th book. This can be, you can map with an either the ID of the book or the number of the book, depends upon requirement, please. We will be seeing that in the upcoming classes. Not with the node, we will be seeing that with an express. Next, third type is an query string. Example, for example, like localhost again, localhost colon 4000 slash library. Till here, that is same. Now, what I would like to see, books or books, all right, question mark. I wanted to see author, some equals to some name, all right, some name over here, and if you wanted to add more and more on it, ID equals to 01. Whenever you see this query, this is, I mean to say this question mark, this is called as an query parameters, all right. This is called as an query parameters, and we call that as in query strings in the one of the way to handle the routes, all right. Pardon for the spelling here. This is how, please. Now, we'll try to create the second one over here, all right, resource based URLs for our required pages. You know, I don't want all the about and contact also to render the welcome, all of them. I wanted to get the appropriate messages. So, let's try. How do I know which resource the user is asking for? I hope you please concentrate on the address bar, please. I don't know. Can I? Please look at my address bar. It's localhost 4000. I know last people cannot make out on this. Pardon? Brightness. Huh? Okay, no problem. Let's see. I hope this should work. Let it go off. Can you look at this, everybody? Localhost 4000. All right. Let me take to the notepad. This is on my URL, please. This is on my address bar. How do our server know I'm asking for an about? How do my server know I'm asking for contact? How do my server know I'm asking for the home? How do my server know I have to render the home page? For the third one and the fourth one, I have to render the home page. What are your thoughts on it? How do I know that? How do your server know? Is my question clear to you all? How to handle it, that is in secondary. How do I know it? User is asking something on the address bar. /about, /contact, /home, /products. How do you see this welcome here? How it is rendering? How come this welcome has come onto my page? You are sending as response. That means there is some response to some request. Are you seeing that, everybody? So this has to be read in the form of a request. You know, in the create server, we have the two objects in it, request and response. Through this response, I have sent the welcome. Now through this request, I need to read the request what the user is asking for. So to do that, I need to get request. If you log it, it has a lot of parameters in it. What do I need it now? The URL the user is asking for. So there is an inbuilt module called const URL equals to require URL. If you wanted to use the URL part of your requests, try to import this one. All right, request dot URL. This would return the URL the user is asking for. Let me try to hold that into let the path is something the user path asking for. All right. If that path is, I hope you are seeing that, everybody, the user, I'm trying to read something from the address bar through the request. That can be a query parameters, that can be query strings, that can be any other resource, please. That can be taken from the browser to here through the request, please. Since I'm reading the URL, I'm trying to take that into the URL. It's not a method, I'm sorry. All right. Now let's log it and see. Console.log path. All right. Let me rerun my server. I am asking for something about here. You can see that it is logging about here. If I'm asking for something like home or as open anything, I mean to say home page, you can see my output console.log /. That is how you can make out, please. That is how you can read something the user is asking for through the request object. Now, depending on that request object, if my path is equals to the /, you might have noticed here my root path is the /. If my path is equals to /, send this as a response. Else, if my path is equals to about, if my path is equals to the about, try to send welcome to about. I mean to say about page. Response dot and what shall we type here? You are in about. You are in about page. Copy this one. Paste it for a couple of times. I want another one as an about, another was an other as in contact, other one as in resources. If anything, if nothing matches, if nothing matches, 404 error. Oops. 404. Page not found. All right. I hope this made sense, everybody. Do I need to zoom out little? Does it making sense, everybody, so far? Yes? If my request path is slash, please print, send the response as in welcome. If my request path is slash about, you are in about page. If my request path is contact, you are in the contact page. If my path is resources or the products, I think we are products. We are doing with the products. You are in the products page. All right. As of now, since we are not doing any products, okay, no problem. All right. Let's try to look into that now. Restart my server. Something is going wrong. Oh, this is, I missed one bracket here. Yeah. Restart our server. Let's go here. Reload. Welcome. 4000 slash about. You are in about page. 4000 slash contact. You are in contact page. Similarly, slash KMIT, which we did not handle this route, 404, page not found. All right. Now, if I look into my inspect element and go to the networks tab, let me reload my page here, everybody. Reload my page. If you see here, give me a moment. How can I? I don't want this. Okay. Sir. Okay. You can see here, if I click on the local host, it has come the welcome over here. Please see the response and headers. If you click on the headers, you see that the status code is 2000. See that the status code is 2000. But if you remember, we have handled the page not found also. Slash some KMIT. If you see my status over here, it is also the 2000. Sorry, 200. I'm sorry, it was 200. I'm pronouncing that as in 2000. 200. The status code for success is a 200. You see the 404, but the status is also the 200. Do you think it is correct? No, right? We need to handle it appropriately. Okay? Next step would be handling the headers. How do you set up your headers? All right? Now, I wanted, let's try sending the responses. Everybody so far clear? I would show the code for you. So far clear everybody? How do you take the URL patterns? How do you know what the user is asking for? Through the request object, request.url. Alright? Now, according to the URL the user is asking for, the resource asking for, I am giving some simple message, welcome, you are in about page, you are in a contact page. If the unhandled URL is been asked, I am trying to send like, oops, 404 error, page not found error. But, okay, till there it is, everybody, are you with me so far? Did you understand so far everybody? Next step would be, how, if you look at my, if I inspect my page resource, I mean to say the responses, for 404 error also, it is trying to give the 200 status, which is a success status, which should not happen. If the resource is available, we need to give 200. If the resource is not available, we need to give the status called as in 404. So that is possible by writing our own headers. So next step would be sending the responses through the headers, please. How do I do that? That is called, where do you see that responses, please? 200 and so and so. It is in the headers. Where that headers? In the response. You see this? This is the response. I would like to associate the header part to that. So now let's try to look into this place. So let's write response, that is also part of the response, please. Response dot write head. Write head will take a status code. What is the status code? 200. You can associate, you can add to this, you can also add up this one. This is called cascading. I am commenting out this. Alright? You can write this exclusively, or you can combine these two lines into one line by adding like this. Alright? Let's try now. Write head. Everybody, am I making sense on this? Okay, let me give me a moment. Let me write this for this one also, so that makes sense for you. This is 404, and I wanted to send page not found. Let me comment out this one. I'm not handling for the other one, please. Restart the server. Server is running. If you look at now, my status code is 404 here. My status code is 404. Let me look into available one, home. Home is also not available, we did not handle it. Contact. If you see the contact, my status code is 200. I want you to see this at your end also. All these are matters in our exercise, please. How do you handle that one? Now, what if I wanted to send an HTML as the content? Basically, we are sending a response, a simple text. I wanted to send this data as an HTML file. So, in the right head only, we have another option. Let me copy this, comment out one more time. In the right head, this method will take two parameters. You see how it is behavior? It's a polymorphic behavior again. 200 the status code, and also the type of the response you would like to send is also can be passed over here. That can be done using the object here. So let me give content type. Content type colon text.html. This would work for our response which is something like welcome also, because that is a text here. And you can also send your own message to the header, your own custom message. So let me write the custom message. My header, I am in hello root. Hello root. Let me copy this and also send the response here, uncommenting my response. Copy this. I would like to send it to the about also. This is about, hello about. And the same thing in the contact. The same thing for the products. Same thing for the, here my status code is 400. Hello, page not found, something. All right. This is all my custom messages. Let me comment this part. The second way of handling the headers, please. Let me restart my server. If I'm too quick, please stop me. You can see welcome. My status code is 200. If I click on this, you would see the response. And if you little bit scroll down, status code is 200. And you see my header part here, hello root. Custom message, it's an optional, purely optional one. Let me take to the contact. You see the contact, status code is 200. And my custom message is hello contact. Let me show you for 404 KMIT, which is not available. Status code is 400. If you click on it, status is 400 bad request, and also my header is page not found. Custom message. All right. This is how you handle the routes, please. The basic route. I mean to say, like resources the user is asking for. Now, I don't want the next step. The third step, please. The first step is creating the routes. Second step is adding the headers, custom header messages. The third step would be now, I wanted to send, instead of sending this plain message, I wanted my HTML content to be shown there. I want my HTML content to be shown there. Are you all with me, everybody? All right. So let's create one simple HTML page. Let me create something like index.html. All right. Here, some h1 tag, welcome. All right. Now, how do you think? How do you think we can send my response as an HTML? We have done this in the last class. In index.js, read the file one, get the file one. Let me show you that part here. Import the file, file system, and read the file. I would like to read index.html. Read file synchronously. Please read complete file. Don't read asynchronously. Read the complete file. Then only I can send the response properly there. All right. /index.html, and the format is UTF-8. Now, what you do? Instead of sending welcome here, I wanted to send the whatever it has read here. I wanted to send as an whatever I have read here, I have stored into the HTML. Let me render that HTML here. Or else copy this, comment out here. Instead of welcome, try to send the HTML which we have read synchronously. All right. Let me do this for all other routes as well. Comment out this part here. Comment out this part, the same HTML please. I wanted to send the same HTML. How do I manage my responses differently? I'll talk that in a minute. All right, let's restart my server. Route in the H1 tag, welcome, /about is also welcome, /contact is also welcome. I don't want this behavior. For different routes, I want the different message. Till now, we sent the plain content, welcome to welcome. You are in the about page, you are in the contact page, 404 error, page not found. I don't want the plain content, I want that to become in a part of an HTML. You see, this is an HTML please. You know, H1 tag, it's an bigger than usual one. All right. So let's try to do that. Go to the index.html, try to write, comment out this H1, comment out the H1 and have one placeholder. Everybody, for better understanding, I'm writing that here. Have some placeholder, what has to be rendered in the H1. Have the placeholder. Some name to the place. How do I write the placeholder? Write 2 curly braces, have some percentage here, one more percentage. Within this, what is a placeholder you would like to give the name? You can give anything please. I would like to give the content. Placeholder name can be anything. Name, KMIT, NGIT, can be anything please. All right. This is a placeholder. If the root URL is called, this content has to be replaced with welcome. If the /about is being called, this content has to be replaced with you are in the about page. If the contact is called, this content has to be replaced with an you are in the contact page. I hope you are seeing me. I'm not creating the multiple index.htmls. In one index.html only, I'm altering my data according to the route. Are you all with me, everybody? Right? So let's do that. By the way, if you wanted that to be in the H1 tag, yes, you can put that in the H1 tag. Now let me save this file. Go to the index.js. Now, where is that? Here. Response.send, the first one. Here it is trying to send, before it was trying to send the welcome. Now, in the HTML, whatever you have read, in that, we already done the string methods, not practically in the class, but I asked you to explore the string methods. One of the method is replace. Replace the content with so and so message. Straightforward. Am I making sense, everybody? Replace the placeholder content with so and so message. All right. In the root one, replace the HTML what I have read. In that, replace. You know, replace will take the 2 parameters. What is the first one? Replace the content. Let me write the content again. Percentage content replace with welcome. You know, root one is a welcome. Copy this one. I think I should have comment out the previous step. This is what we are trying to do, please. Comment out this one. Replace. This is what? About. So you are in about page. All right. This third one, products. Replace the HTML. Oh, One moment. Copy this. You are in the contact. Replace you are in contact page. This is products. You are in products page. All right. This one. Replace this. 404 error. All right. Just replaced, please. Plain string manipulation, simple function. I hope this is new to you learn. Oh, one moment. I'm replacing content. Let me check the spell what I have written here. Copy this. Yeah, you can see that. I think I missed some typo over there. I'm replacing all the content part. This is string method, please. Replace what with what. All right. Rerun. Welcome. Now you see slash about. You are in about page. Slash contact. You are in the contact. Slash products. You are in the products page. Similarly, KMIT 404 page not found. Third step, please. Are you all on the same page now? Step by step. First step, creating the routes. Second step, providing headers to that. Third step, I want the content to come in the HTML format, and that too only one HTML with different messages, which has to handle the placeholder. Right? Everybody, are you with me? Okay. Now what I do, I'll share this with you all. I want my index. This is my index. What I'm creating, you see, there is a division with for a nav bar, and there is a content part which I'm trying to replace. All right. This CSS part, you don't worry about it. I am going to share the code with you all. Why did I put this into my everything into one HTML? I can put that in a segregate as in CSS, right? Styles.css. Node.js will not handle this way of talking to this HTML talking with the styles.css. So there is an other way of handling it, which you may be seeing in the future classes. So to avoid that confusion, I have kept my complete CSS in my HTML only. All right. Let me rerun my code. Let me take to my, all right, this is what? Products. I wanted actually products to be the 404 page, because the second task, we are going to work only on the products, about and contact. All right. So after this, the next task would be reading the JSON, please. Why we need the JSON? I think I need to talk little bit elaborately on it. See, in a traditional way, there are two types of websites. All right. Let me call this as an client. client will be asking in the request for something, the server will try to give that HTML page, slash index.html, slash about.html, or can be PHP also, or all of them please. This is the server, and which is a static one. It's already only requesting for an static files. Eventually, you know, we have evolved within dynamic pages also. The second type, the client will be asking something. Let me take an example of our, I think you are in the 3-1, right? Day before, something like that, your results are out. Your results were out. You are giving your roll number in the page and clicking on submit. Behind, the server is talking to the database and giving you all the results. I mean, which subject, which marks. All right, that is how I can take that example as a dynamic one. All right, what is happening? The user is just having a text box over here, asking for an hall ticket number. User is clicking on submit. What happens? The browser will talk to the server. Server internally talk to the database, fetches the result. Here we have one template where at the server side only please. At the server side, there is some code. If you are coming from Java background, you know, we will be creating one template here. That template will give one, for better understanding, a table format where it will show the subject and relevant grade according to that. This file will be sent as a response, where the cooking of the file is done at a server side, talking to the database and the page structure, what has to come into that and what has to be sent to the client is done at the server side. Before the React, this was happening please. Now, what is happening? Everything is an API based, web APIs. You might have heard about it, you might have created it, web API based. What does that mean? The client, let me take new page. Client will request for something, server will give you the response in the format of JSON. The format of JSON. Imagine like Google Maps, all right, slash source equal to Hyderabad and destination is equals to Bangalore. I don't know what is going to happen. API is going to take the source parameter. What is happening, you know, this is completely giving the API to the client. It's responsibility of the client. What it is trying to give? The JSON, complete JSON. Complete JSON. The server is responsible to get the JSON and give the JSON to the client. Now it's responsibility of the client. You can use either React, Vue or Angular, anything. This JSON is given to the client. Every time you need not go to the server now. Only for the first time the connection is established and the server is giving you the response as in JSON. It's client responsibility to handle your template, to handle the query parameters, to handle everything. Because JSON is available with you. You wanted to change your sources from Hyderabad and destination Bangalore to some other thing? Yes, you can do. You need not talk to the server now directly. Since JSON is available, you will be trying to fetch the data within the JSON. You will be filtering without what has to be rendered, what not has to be rendered. If sometimes needed, yes, what I call, if the parameter changes, that part will be given to the server, that corresponding JSON will be given to the client. It's the client responsibility how you would like to render it. Imagine you got failed in your results. Your background has to be red. You passed in your result. Your background has to be green. Who will take care of it? Client. In the previous old models, server used to take care of those things also. Now it's responsibility of the client to handle everything. What will server do? I'll give you the data. How do you want to render? It's up to you. All right. Now our client here is a browser so far. If the server gives you the JSON, you can work with an tab IO, or you can work with an mobile. JSON is with you. How do you want it to render? It should be taken care by the client. That's what we are going to learn in the upcoming classes, React. All right. JSON. This is a brief background. Why are we learning the JSON? Because in the MUN stack FSD, we are going to deal most of the times, 99% times with the JSON. It's very important to understand the JSON. Why JSON? How do you handle the JSON data? Now we are going to handle the JSON. I will give you the JSON data to you. You have to work on it. All right. So let me show my JSON data. Everybody, are you all with me? Are you all with me, everybody? Yes or no? You have to render. The task is you have to render the content in the products page by reading the JSON data. All right. Let me show you my data now. What I'll do, I'll directly show up my data, code, and my JSON. I have folder here, JSON, which has some random data which this has generated through ChatGPT to get the data from the internet. All right. I gave the query like I want some JSON to be generated on an iPhone. All right. I downloaded few images from the internet and I put that into my static data. All right. There are like 8 iPhone details. All right. Let me run my code. Let me show you how does it looks. npm node app.js. By the way, my server is running on 3000. One moment. Okay, server is running on 8000, please. This is what we have done so far. In the products page, I'm rendering the JSON data. Pardon for the images. As I said, like CSS files, I cannot read through the node server. Only one file at a time I can read. So, you know, my images is been not rendering for the same reason. How do you handle it? We will fix it in the coming classes. But you can observe here, my data has been shown here. This is all my 8 data which is coming from the JSON. That's why deliberately I put my products page as an 404 error till now. That would be the second task where you will be reading the JSON and you will be rendering to the route called products with the data. Is the task clear to you, everybody? Let me show you my code now. See here, I'm trying to read the products.json synchronously. Why do I need synchronously here? Because if it is asynchronous, if the data has been not yet fetched, my HTML would break there. It will not show the content. First, I want my JSON to be ready. That is all. When the server is giving you the JSON, then only you can do something with the JSON file. So that is why I made it available to read the JSON. And why did I write outside my server here? You see, where is my server? All the way down. My server is outside the server I have written. This is because whenever the user is asking for the slash products, the other user is also asking for the slash products, it is trying to talk to the JSON file 2 times. I don't want that to happen. If I write at the products route, I don't want that to happen. Unnecessarily we are burdening on the server. So read it only once synchronously and make it available. All right? So there is something called productslist.html. Let me show you that. Don't worry, I'll share this file with you. You need not create any HTML file for the product. All right? Where by this you can make out there is some placeholder. I wanted to show my content in that placeholder. Like how did we show our welcome in the placeholders previously? The same way, please. Model name, model number, size, camera, price, color. I hope you can see that here. Color, price, this part. Forget about the image. I'm showing the image also. So I have another HTML file. I have to read it. There are some placeholders here. These placeholders has to be replaced with my JSON key. My image has to replace with this image. My price has to replace with this price. My model name has to replace with this model. Are you seeing that, everybody? Yes or no? Is it too complex to understand? There is a placeholder. You need to replace some data in it. In the previous step, content was a placeholder. We replaced with you are in home, you are in about, you are in contact. Here, there are multiple placeholders. There are multiple placeholders that has to replace with the JSON key. Only that is the part, please. Okay? Am I making sense now? More or less, it is similar. Just replace method. All right? So this JSON, I'm trying to read. Oh, where is my app? I'm trying to read, and HTML also I'm reading. JSON data I put in the products. My HTML, where I have to replace my content, is in the products list HTML. All the way down. If you look at here, only in the products page, I'm trying to replace the, okay, I forgot to show you the other one. Here, replace image with the product.image, product.image. Replace name with the product.name. Replace model name with the product.model name. How do I get all of them? I have everything in the products here. Map on it, you know, we have seen in this map function also, map callback function. Products.map on each product, replace my HTML content with so and so key pair. So this content is, this placeholder has to replace with the product image URL there. The name placeholder has to replace with the product key with the name. Model name with the product with the key model name. All right. This is returning. I'm trying to store everything into an product HTML array. What does it returns? Actually, it returns as a string. So what did I do? I logged it actually. Okay, you can look at here my logging statement. See, it is returning completely my array within string formatted. What did I do now? This is all for my confirmation I have written. Now look into this. Replace every content with a HTML array join which we were returning through my replacing product. Alright? That is all, please. I will remove this part. This is all for upcoming class. Alright? So I am rerunning my code. If your data is okay, started, home, you are in home page, about, you are in about page, contact, you are in contact page, products, products is displaying the product items. Okay? Anything to be re-explained? I know moving up and down might have confused you. I want you to work on this, please. Okay. Is the first exercise ready? Okay. Na content అయిపోయింది. Alright. I'm just revising the second exercise, please. I have productslist.html and the products which is coming from the JSON. On the each product, I am reading productlist.html, replace the placeholder with the product's perfect keys, character keys. You know, everything I am appending to the output over here, I am returning the output. This would return in all the HTML also in the string format. So, while delivering the products, I am replacing the content part with the products HTML array. What was the content before? 404 or you are in the products page. Just replacing that with an array which we have created just before in the string format. Everything remains same place. Okay? I'll share the template for you. The other part you have to do, please. In tomorrow's class, you will be working on Mongo, basic querying on the Mongos, and Express, connecting our Mongo with an Express and get the response in the JSON format. After getting the JSON format, you know how to render it if you have done the today's exercise. We are doing with the Express, please. We are stopping the node till here. Alright? Please explore. Do something for me. I have talked about the 4 types of an URL patterns. Invest some time on dealing with query string, please. Dealing with query strings. How do I handle query string routers? Explore that part. I will be talking on it exclusively in Express, not in the node. Okay? Eventually, you will be working more on the Express, not on the node. Why Express? Why not node? I'll talk when I'm talking on the Express. Because everything, if you look at here, we have written everything here. Manually, we created the server. We have created the header parts. We have written the content type of it. Everything, pain on the developer to write and take care of everything. Whereas Express, it does everything for us, making the developer, backend developer life simple. 10.11.52.100, not 51, 52.100. For the first task, I need not share anything. For the second task, I have to share products.json and also product rendering part of our product details.html. I'll share those 2 files with you. and index.html also I would be sharing, where I am trying to share the 3 files with you: index.html, productslist.html, and products.json. Download them. 10.10.14.87, and it's HTTP, please. Can you see that resource? You can download if I'm not wrong. Can you download it? It shows that everything is in success over here. Connect to the RD, please. We should be on the same LAN. Connect to the RD, and you will be seeing these 3 files I'm trying to share: index.html, productlist.html, products.json. You see if you are trying to reach that one also. Reload. Let me copy this. Let me try at my end. Oh, it's rendering HTML file. This is what you are trying to say? Okay, let me stop the server. HFS not working. You know, I have shared the index.html that is directly up actually. So I named that index.html to app.html. 10.10.14.87. Please download those 3 files. Rename at your end app.html to index.html. So the server is trying to take index.html as a serving file and serving that one. That's the reason we are seeing that my navbar and content. Just rename that one. Can you now confirm? Anybody? All right. Please download 3 files, please. Those 3 files are important for the second task also. App.html for the task 1. Second 2, product list and the products for the second task. Download them. About, you are in products, you are in about page, you are in contact page, and other one 404 page not found. This is what we are expecting, please, along with proper status codes. For these 3, 200, for last one 404. Content type HTML/text, text/HTML. We are not worried about the custom message. It's up to you what you would like to write the custom message. Behind test cases are checking with these content and the status code. All right. Keep it open. Second exercise. First exercise, 3 participants done. 3 of you have done. Second exercise, since it's already 6 p.m. Tomorrow, first thing in tomorrow's first class. All right. I'll not retalk on it, please. Okay. I hope you have downloaded the files. It's still on the HFS. If you haven't, please download them. Okay. Please download them today itself from 10.10.14.187. All right. Header status code is important, not the my header part. You know, that's a custom message can be anything. That's what I wrote. Those These are the behind test cases, please. These 4 are mandatory along with the uppercase, lowercase. You need to handle the proper status code. Custom header part, what has to be my header, it's completely your optional, please. That is why it is called custom header. If you have done for today, you can leave. Tomorrow, first thing, you will be seeing the today's exercise pending task, where you will be reading the JSON. All right. Tomorrow we are going to start with Mongo. Mongo, basic querying, if possible, connecting with MongoDB through Express. You know, for the last week placements, we already shared the MongoDB document. Please go through them. That would be easy. If you are come ready and come here, easy to do it in the class.